start this week's recap with the Predator Cambio Chaqueta. In this class we introduce the shoulder in attack. The shoulder is a strange old weapon, and in general it's not often exploited in full. But we have planted the seed in the orange grade, and we will develop everything little by little across time. Many times in the Predator exercise, it's not always easy to see everything with total clarity because there is a lot going on. But if we've followed the class plan closely, then it's pretty easy really. Meaning that by the time you arrive at the Predator part of the class, you have all the necessary pieces in order to rumble. The boys use the shoulder as an attack, high, middle and low. If you watch carefully, you can see Ruben make one of the takedowns by attacking Justo's leg with his shoulder. So in essence, and as always, we're trying to get a simple application working, but in all areas. In this one opponent exercise, we introduced some basic trapping developments. We started with the high line and the canqueo, which was complemented by the pensa hombro attack. Can you remember that the canqueo trap was slightly different to the garraqueo? But what was the difference? You should know, so I'm actually not going to tell you. And if you're still not sure, go back and check your classes again. Moving on again, but with the same exercise, only this time we changed one of the attacks and added a new takedown. If you watch, you can see the new takedown, which also attacks on a different level. The cancuerpa, which is a midline trap, is a very common one, so it's one that we look at the very early stages of training, purely because we need to be aware of its existence and some of its major energies. In this development, we focused on the kicks and the leg attack takedown. The campiones is shown in a pretty raw format at present. We will develop the finer points in time, and especially as we understand more about this area of study. There's a nice little two-way conversation going on as regards the kick. Both partners are firing and receiving. This simple style of training, in concept, really is like talking to somebody. It needs to be a two-way thing. Building on the trap and takedown, we then added a ground position, Control 2, which we needed to destroy with the Garamona in order to get back to our feet. The boys keep the two-way conversation active at all times, and each development focuses on a movement in time, or in other words, different possibilities depending on the opponent's question. Here we can see Rubo attacking Justo with the can cuerpo. As they hit the ground, Ruben follows on with Control 2 again. So what we're looking at is how we arrive on the ground via the basic traps and some of the potential ground positions or basic attacks that we may receive. Remember how we used the simple walk-through footwork in order to get the takedown? Obviously, there are many more ways we can elaborate on this takedown, but for now, it's enough to get a decent answer without a need for massive takedown skills. Working back with the legs again, the kick is the focus one more time, and the campiernas is the nucleus for the takedown. Now we have looked at the three basic areas of trapping: head, body and legs. So now we have a decent foundation in which to start building on. In these next two Predator shots, we see the boys firing all the major strikes, plus using the traps and takedowns that we've been developing. As we've said, the Predator exercise is pretty chaotic sometimes, so visual study is actually very important. You will also see, if you watch carefully, that the exercise doesn't always follow exactly. Once again, we could edit everything so it was perfect, but perfection is not what we're after. We need to feel what is real and what is really happening, and definitely not get lost in saying, "Ah, he did an elbow instead of a knee." Can you see how dangerous this kind of mentality can become? Back on our favourite surface again. In this Predator we had the guadagna takedown at work. Can you remember how we can take down from the front or from the back? We then put the third control into the equation. So we've been gathering quite a lot of information across the last 3 months, and we need to make sure that all this work is understood to an adequate level and that plenty of physical training time has been accumulated. Because when we hit the green grade, we will be off again with a new series of developments, and all we have trained over the last year really is the foundation for your future progress. So let's just watch the last 2 shots of the Predator, make sure we know what's going on, and be ready for next week. Till then, be good, train hard and train safe.